Reclaiming Catholic Intimacy, formerly Charting Toward Intimacy, covers mature topics. Listener discretion is advised.
The number one concern that I get from ladies entering into Want It and Enjoy It is this going to work for me? And is the price worth it? It's truly the number one concern that I get. And so I want to address that in this episode. Welcome to Reclaiming Catholic Intimacy, the podcast for Catholic wives that helps you improve your sex life, strengthen your marriage, and embrace God's design for love. Now, my Want It and Enjoy It program is open for enrollment right now. This is an 8-week group coaching program for Catholic wives who want to increase desire for sex, increase libido, and actually experience pleasure. Now, if you want any details about the program, there is a podcast episode that is called All the Details About Want It and Enjoy It. So go listen to that if you have questions about what's included, why it's a group program, etc. So I asked my ladies in the most recent round of Want It and Enjoy It, what doubts or fears did you have about this program before starting? And I am going to simply read you their responses because I think that these speak more than what I could even tell you. So I'm just going to read them to you. I just wasn't sure whether it was worth the price for us. I'm not used to spending that type of money. I would say that if you are considering this, you should definitely join. If you are thinking about it, if you would like things to improve, I am sure Ellen can help. My perspective on sex has changed from night to day. It's amazing. My particular situation seemed unchangeable, both physically and emotionally. The problem seemed locked in. I'm an extremely private person, and this seemed so risky. The big looming questions. What if it doesn't make a difference? What if things will always be the way they are now? What if I am really broken and a failure? And then she continued on when I asked, what would she say to a woman who is hesitant to join? And she said, be open to hope and change, to healing, real help, and possibilities. Be not afraid. The next one, I really didn't believe I could change from taking this course. And she said, it is worth it. So many of us women have the same issues. Another woman said, I doubted whether it would truly change my perspective on sex. And then she said, it changed my entire perspective on sex and helped my marriage so much. I would tell a woman who is hesitant to join, it is worth every penny. Another woman said, I was worried that it might not be worth it. It was a substantial amount to spend, and I thought that my case was hopeless. And then she continued on and she said, there is power in information and in solidarity with other women. Catholic women traditionally don't talk about sex openly. Sharing our own struggles, naming them, and discussing sex openly and naturally as a beautiful and sacramental act is healing and necessary. And those are just a few of my most recent ladies. But ultimately, what I want to talk to you about is a process of changing our mindset. Because it can be really easy to look at the issues in our sex life, to look at the fact that we never desire sex, to look at the fact that we've never experienced orgasm and go, my case is hopeless. How would anything ever change that? Nothing could possibly change that. You might have even said, I've tried everything. This is where I want to challenge you in the fact that those thoughts are extremely limiting. Those thoughts are limiting you and it's limiting God. This is like somebody who maybe fell and broke their leg and was in a ton of pain and just looked at the broken leg and said, there is no way out of this. There is no way to heal. I cannot heal my broken leg. And in some respects, those statements are actually true. The person who broke their leg probably can't heal that broken leg without help. But if that person has all those thoughts and just, there is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can change about the situation. I have a broken leg. I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. Then they're never going to go to the doctor. They're never going to seek out assistance. They're not going to go to physical therapy. They're not going to read about how to heal a broken leg, what kind of exercises to do. They're not going to do anything, truly. And so if you have those thoughts that nothing's going to change in my sex life, my case is hopeless, those thoughts are leading you to do nothing. You might listen to this podcast, but the thing is, information is not the problem. The information is out there. The information that I'm sharing with you, you could probably Google. I don't really recommend it because unless you're like very well versed in theology, you're probably going to get some weird, not true things in there. But I found the information. I went to school. I got a master's degree. I found this information. You could also find this information, right? It's the information is not the problem. It's the implementation that is always the problem. It's the actually doing of the work. And that starts with understanding that it is possible to change. More than half of the ladies who came into this most recent round of Want It and Enjoy It told me that they didn't think they could change. And you want to know what every single one of those ladies experienced? Change. They experienced positive change in their sex life. They didn't think it was possible. So if the reason you are not signing up for this round of Want It and Enjoy It is because you don't believe that change is possible, I want to assure you that change is absolutely possible. And I can guarantee that change. And here's how I can guarantee that change. Because I come to this program with 110% effort. I have put my heart and soul into this course that is available to you. It is basically everything I have ever learned about sex and intimacy and how to apply that within your Catholic marriage in a way that is clear, it is concise, it is organized. You can digest it easily. I mean, the reason you listen to this podcast is probably because I take really complicated concepts and I teach them to you in a way that makes sense. That is what I do within this course. And then I will be journeying with you on a weekly basis for 2 months, for 8 weeks. And the reason you're going to get results is because you're going to look at these 8 weeks and you are going to roll your sleeves up and you're going to say, all right, I'm going to also give it my all for 8 weeks. Because sure, you could sign up for the program and never touch it and not experience any change. But I don't know why you would do that. So if you're going to sign up for this program, I'm going to ask you to give me 8 weeks. Give me 2 hours a week for 8 weeks. That's it. That's why I designed this program the way it is. I could have done a 6-month program. I could have said, oh, just give me like 20 minutes a week for 6 months and we'll move through the material slowly and we'll get there. I'm not that type of person. I want results now. I want results quickly. I don't want to wait 6 months for things to change. I don't want to wait a year for things to change. I want them to change now. So I designed this program that within the first 5 days of the program, you will immediately know what is the biggest pain point in your sex life right now and where you're going to need to put your focus. In 5 days, you're going to see that fast. And then we are going to work hard for 8 weeks. We're going to spend some time watching videos, implementing the knowledge, and then we're going to get together on a weekly basis and we're going to coach. And we're going to talk about the issues that are coming up. We're going to work through them. We're going to brainstorm. We're going to troubleshoot. We're going to figure it out. And then you're going to go back and you're going to apply. And you're going to work on those things. And in 8 weeks, you will not even recognize your sex life. If you join this program and you roll up your sleeves and you give it your all, you will not recognize. You won't recognize yourself either. You'll look back and go, I cannot believe how I used to think about sex, how negatively that was. That was crazy. Who was that? And you know what the funnest part is? Your husband's going to notice. He's going to barely recognize you in a good way. He's going to be like, whoa, you didn't used to act this way around sex. You didn't used to like it. What? This is amazing. This is constantly. I get emails from women in the current round and they'll be like, oh my gosh, my husband started noticing. Oh my gosh, it's been like 3 weeks and my husband all of a sudden is just like, whoa, this is amazing. This is so cool. So that's just an extra little cherry on top bonus is your husband's going to love it. But Ultimately, this is about you. This is about changing you. This is about making this area of your life that is very painful right now, not fun, not enjoyable, not something you look forward to, and turning that into an area of your life that you anticipate with joy, that you look forward to, that you desire, that you actually enjoy. Making this area of your life something that doesn't feel shameful or gross or repulsive. Making it something that feels happy and free and light and fun and unifying and good. So if you have any doubts that it's going to work for you, it will. It really, really will. And if that's the reason that you're hesitating signing up, this is your push to sign up. If you are worried that it's not going to work for you, if you're worried that the investment's not going to be worth it, I can promise you it will be. I can't wait to have you in this next round. You can go to reclaimingcatholicintimacy.com/want and enjoy, or you can click in the show notes is the link to join. Can't wait to have you in it. Hey, if you're a Catholic wife who wants to increase your desire for sex and actually experience pleasure in the act, I want to invite you to join the next round of Want It and Enjoy It, where you're going to learn how to cultivate desire, learn the skill of orgasm, and learn how to think differently about sex so that you can look forward to sex and actually enjoy it. Just head to reclaimingcatholicintimacy.com/want and enjoy, or click the link in the show notes.